Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. The movie Passport begins as Oscar the Londoner hyped his girlfriend called Queen, the love of his life. He guided to this lady as a woman of his dreams and how he planned to spend the rest of his life with this woman. Oscar also said he can't wait for the whole world to know how beautiful his woman is, and he can't wait to show off this woman to the whole world and tell how loving she is. Oscar was having issues paying his bills, so he contacted some musicians. They said they were low on cash. They are not as rich as he is. That you know that Oscar the Londoner is a London guy now. That she cleared the bills. His sister kept on calling. His sister told him that they had a meeting tomorrow morning and he had to be there. He said he was out of town, that he could not come, that he's in Lagos presently. His sister felt disappointed that that's how he's always doing that. He's always snubbing the family responsibility and always giving her all the work to do. His friend later came in to inform him that his girlfriend Queen had paid the bill and they told him to go greet the lady for paying the bill and not putting them to shame. After they left the party, Oscar decided to propose to Queen at the home. Queen said, "Is this kind of ring you want to use to propose to me? Is this thing you want to use to propose?" And he started explaining that the ring, his mom gave it to him and his mom's mom gave it to his mom. And the lady said she did not appreciate that. And how did he even intend to clear responsibility? That he that could not even clear a common bar bill. That is that how he's going to keep living on his sister and his mom to pay his bill. That when is he going to man up, blah blah blah. He said all manner of things and Oscar could no longer take it. He was working out and she asked that does it mean that Oscar was breaking up with her? And Oscar said, what's the essence of staying when it was all over and she was not even ready to spend the rest of her own life with him? The next morning, Oscar checked out of his hotel. His uncle came in to pick him up and exchanged greetings. He then told his uncle that he's going to send back the money his uncle lent him once he gets to the States. And his uncle should just keep paying the bills. When he gets to the States, he's going to wire his uncle some money. His uncle said better. They both left the hotel. Mighty and Tobe posted some posters for Kopiko as the chairlady. Tobe told Mighty that the poster was not really presentable, but she understands that Mighty does not have enough money to do a poster for her sister Kopiko. At Brown Development Union meeting, Kopiko raised up her hand and said she had something to say, that why would it be a meeting and the chairman won't be on stage, neither will he send the representative, and they told Kopiko to just shut up and sit down. She said she won't shut up, that she's making a good point. Everybody clapped for her and said that is true, that why won't the chairman be on seat and they'll be holding a meeting, that what's the meaning of that? Few minutes later, the chairman came in, Terminator, and said what is going on in the meeting and how far they be going in the meeting. Professor reported that it's only Kopiko that will be disturbing the meeting, that she asked that why would they be holding a meeting without the chairman's presence, and said she's very stupid that they should know for that. Few minutes later, they asked that they should proceed in the meeting. In the meeting, they asked that the meeting was mainly to suggest any candidate that is interested in going for the chairman's position. Kopiko raised up her hand and said she was interested in getting the form. And they all said, how will a common lady be interested in being the chairman of the garage? That what was she thinking, like in this old area, they could not allow a lady to lead them. Kopiko said she was capable and far more capable than Terminator. They should look at Terminator. What has he done for them? He has done nothing at all for them. They all said that, oh, Kopiko should sit down. The professor concluded and said the form is going to be sold for 20,000 naira. Kopiko stood up and was not pleased with the price, and she said the price was too much. Later again, they increased the price to 25,000 naira so that Kopiko could not afford the form, and she started shouting that it is cheating, that why would they do that kind of thing, that what were they thinking, that why would they sell a form 25,000 naira, it's too expensive, it's too costly. Obviously everybody knows Kopiko could not afford it. Mighty got home and discovered that their mom had temperature and she was so scared. She ran and called her sister Kopiko at the bar. They took their mom to the hospital. They could not really afford the treatment, so they told the nurse to just assign little medicine to their mom so she could be fine and they could take her home back. The nurse said there was not much drug in the hospital, so they are just going to make use of the little drug they have in the hospital. And since Kobiko did not even have the money to pay, Kobiko told her sister if she could raise any money. Mighty said she only had 10,000 naira left in her account. That sister should try raising some money as well too. Kobiko said that she had nothing on her, that she should check through her bag. Mighty said she should try making some money too, that she's not making any money and it's not really encouraging her. So they got into a legal argument. Kobiko felt that Sister Mighty was not appreciating her effort and she felt less of her. So Sister tried encouraging her and told her she was going to go and withdraw the 10k that is left in her account. That so they could use that one to treat their mom first and they will talk about the rest later. Oscar's mom was being attended to by the doctor. So Eva came in to see her mom and checked on how she was doing because that day was her birthday. And the mom asked of Oscar and she said Oscar was out of town but is going to be back before the day runs out. Sylvia then put a call through to check on Oscar to know his whereabouts. Oscar said he's on his way to the airport but his flight was scheduled for the night. And the sister was like, is he lying? He said he's not lying, that his uncle is here. Unc said hi to Sylvia. Uncle started jacking and then he came down to check what was wrong, only for him to discover they had a flat tire. So he said he does not have spare tire, that he had to go to the next street to get an extra tire. Unc asked Oscar if he could change the car tire and he said he's going to try but he's not really sure, that his uncle is very reckless. And they said it's in their blood. They both laughed and his uncle went to the next street to get the tire. Mighty and Tobe approached Oscar if he needed help with the tire and he said yes. So Tobe agreed that he was going to help him remove the tire and Oscar said he was going to give them some money. Mighty went to Brimstone and discovered that there was a bag in the car, so she removed the bag and gave Tobe and they started running. Oscar ran after them but could not really get his way around the area because he was not familiar with the area, so they get away with it. He informed Uncle about it. They went to the police station to report. Uncle asked if he could identify the people that took his bag and he said yes. They mentioned their name when they were discussing. They said Mighty and Tobe. Uncle said he knows their place, that they were going to go and approach them. When they got to Mighty's house, they met Kopiko, which happened to be Mighty's sister, and explained what happened, though they said that Mighty stole the bag, but they were trying to present it in a more appropriate way so Kopiko will not get angry. Oscar and Tobiko kept on exchanging words which did not make the atmosphere palatable. Oscar told Kopiko to bring out her thief sister, that else is going to take her to the police station. Kopiko chased them with a knife. With a cutlass. Mighty and Tobe finally got to a safe space where they could check the content of the bag. They said, it must be a lot of dollars in this bag for the man to chase them that much. After checking the whole bag, they only saw a few thousand, about 10,000 naira, and a few ATM. That was all that was in the bag. Mighty felt so disappointed that after all her effort, this was just a waste of effort and a wasted time, that the guy was even chasing them like that they should go back and beat the guy. Toba said Mighty should keep the money, that she needs the money more for her mother's treatment, that she should not bother giving her any commission, that they will try to raise the rest of the money, that Mighty should just calm down and let them go and sell the remaining things in the bag. There was wristwatch in the bag, so they felt the wristwatch should be good, that they should be able to get a good money from selling the wristwatch. They both agreed and left. Mighty went to meet Prof that she wants to sell the content of the bag and she's ready to sell it for 500,000 naira, that everything in the bag is original, that she got the bag from a Londoner and the person is very rich. The man watched the whole bag and said, this bag was not worth this amount though. That how much would she say it? Like she said, she was going to do it for 250k. The man said she's not going to give her more than 5,000 naira, or she should carry her property and go. She was about to carry the property, then she remembered that her mom is sick, that she needs the money. So she begged the man to at least add small money. So he said he's going to have 5k more to the money, making 10,000. She collected the money and I, Professor, for being the sure plug, she left. Oscar and Unc brought police to arrest Kopiko. Kopiko followed them to the police station. At the police station, the police told them that they could not hold Kopiko for long because she didn't really commit any offense, That probably just persuade her, so she's going to tell them the right channel and the right way to find their property. And they agreed. The police said they're going to have to release her immediately. Kobiko said she was not going to help them for free, that if she's actually going to help them, she's going to charge them some amount of money. She said she needs 500k. And Oscar said they could not afford 500k, that's a lot of money, that they should do it for a lesser price. So after dragging for a while, Kopiko and Oscar said, okay, they're going to do 100k. So when they agreed to 100k, Kopiko's professor called Terminator to come check out what he just got. That he has gotten an international ATM that they could cash out from, that at least is expecting millions from their account. By the time they withdraw from that account, they're going to have millions to cash out. They told him to shut up. By the time they checked the account, one of the account had about 10,000 naira and the foreign account had £10. They were felt so disappointed and told him never to call them for that kind of runs. That's just a wasted time and wasted effort. Kopiko said she hasn't eaten all day. They should allow her to eat. While she was eating, Oscar kept asking her how will she get the bag for her. Does she know where her sister is? And she told Oscar to let her breathe and allow her to eat in peace. That she has not eaten all day. That she needs energy to go and find the bag. That probably they will start around the whole brown community to see if the bag is still within, if they've not sold it out of the community. Kopiko got home and asked Mighty if you have seen Oscar before. Mighty denied knowing Oscar and never meeting Oscar. Then she gave her few slaps and some punch. Then she said she knows Oscar, that she took some stuff from Oscar and that she has sold it to Professor. They went to Professor's place to retrieve the bag. Professor said if he was going to retrieve the bag for them, they will have to pay him 50,000 naira to get their bag back. Unc and Oscar agreed to pay 50,000 naira. They went to withdraw the money and gave it to Professor. After he gave it to Professor informed them that Terminator came in and beat him. He said Terminator and his boys came and beat him up. They took away the bag from him after beating him up. He came with much boys, so he could not overpower them. That was what happened. They said when the property was not with him, why did he have to take their money? And he refused to give them back their money. They said they were going to meet Terminator. Uncle advised Oscar not to go and meet Terminator because he's a very wicked man. Oscar insisted that he needs to go and see him himself. Oscar went in and met Terminator and have a discussion with him. He told Terminator that he needs the passport and the bag the most, that was the most important thing to him. Terminator told Oscar to bring 500 each. Then he brought out 500 naira from his pocket. Terminator told him if he was kidding with him, that he meant 500,000, not 500 naira, that she'd go and get the money. Oscar agreed to pay back, but he said only when he gets to the state, that's when he's going to wire me his money. Terminator did not agree and told him to get away. If he did not have the money, there's not going to release his bag. Oscar went out to call his sister and told her about the situation of things, but she refused to believe because Oscar was always fond of lying and she felt that Oscar didn't want to show up for their mom. That's why he's doing like that. Oscar noticed Terminator boys were distracted, so he went in and took the bag. They caught him and Terminator suggested that he and Oscar have a physical fight. Tobey went back to the spot they took the bag and traced back if there was anything that looks like passport in the bag, because he remembered that when they were checking the bag there was nothing that looked like passport in the bag. Terminator and Oscar got into a fight. Oscar was able to maneuver his weight and spat on his face and took the bag and ran away. When he got out of the place, he got to a bit safe spot and checked inside the bag. He noticed that it's not his property that was in the bag, that it was just phones that was in the bag. Tobey already got the passport, so he was trying to return it back to Oscar, but he did not know where to locate Oscar. Terminator boys noticed Tobey spying outside, so they went to him and brought him to Terminator. They decided to lock him up in room 204, and they said he's spying on them, and why would he be spying on them? They are going to deal with him, so they locked him up. Uncle then suggested that Oscar should go apologize to Kopiko, so Kopiko is going to help them out of the situation they are. It's only Kopiko that could retrieve the passport from Terminator because she's a street girl, so she knows how to handle street things, that she's the best person they could approach. She insisted that she was not going to answer them, that Oscar had been insulting her all day, that Oscar should apologize properly. Oscar will apologize 1 second and insult her the next one, so she felt Oscar was not sorry enough. Along the line, Oscar and On came in and they saw that their mom was sick and asked what was wrong. They said they could not afford to take their mom to the hospital and she's terribly sick. Oscar told On to carry their mom to the hospital. So they went to the hospital. Oscar cleared the bills. Kobiko was very happy and appreciated him for everything he has done, that God bless him. Kobiko finally agreed to follow Oscar to Terminator's place. Oscar was very happy to hear this and Ong asked if she was willing to go. They got into another argument again as usual. Oscar also explained that he had to travel urgently because his mom was terribly sick and that is why he has been rushing and trying to meet up with the flight all day before they stole his passport from him. They said Ong should wait outside with Terminator's bag. Oscar and Kobiko went inside and discussed with Terminator and they made a deal with Terminator that they will return Terminator's bag once they get the passport from Terminator. Terminator then gave them the passport first, then they told Uncle to bring. They brought Tobe and asked that why did Kobiko send Tobe to spy on them, that was the meaning of that rubbish. And Kobiko said she was not even going to leave that place until they released Tobe to her. And they said they were not going to release Tobe. They brought her gun. They started threatening her with gun. She did not fear, so they shot her. And the boys ran away. Kobiko then finally woke up. Her sister was very happy and apologized for her behavior. Oscar walked in and said that he was not sure she was going to survive the gunshot, that what gave her the effort to even confront those guys in front of gunshot, and she said she thought that the gun was actually faked. Finally, the committee of the Browning Development Union decided to give her the position of the child lady because she earned it with the action, and by challenging Terminator, she earned it, and Terminator and the boys have been tormenting the area and she was the only one that was able to confront. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.